Sasha Frank,
NeemaNaz.
producer of Never Date a Comedian.
Yes.
Please tell me about this.
Oh my God, it's going to be so fun. So we have here in Melbourne, we're running a dating game show, comedy dating show. We might have you on there.
You already know.
Nights. Yeah.
We're co-producing one of them.
We are. We're going to co-host next Sunday, the 14th. It is going to be an amazing show. So we have 3 comics every night. We have male comics, we have female comics, we have an LGBT night, and then we're going to bring an audience member up, and we are going to let the comics compete to win a real life date with the audience member. Free date courtesy of our venue, the Grace Darling Hotel, which is amazing. And we're gonna, we're just gonna have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I think so. We're gonna find out what you guys all think about dating, what your dating styles are, etc. It's gonna be amazing.
How did you come up with this idea?
I've been thinking about it for a long time. I used to do a lot of dating myself.
Oh, yeah?
So, I've always thought it would be a really fun show to do. Obviously, the title, Never Date a Comedian, is because I highly believe never date a comedian. Oh, my God. Terrible people.
Yeah, for real.
So, yeah.
I don't blame you.
What do you think? Do you think comedians make good partners?
It depends, because, usually comedians are very, I don't know, not growth-minded, and there's not much depth there. It's a lot of too much joking around and chaos in their life.
Okay.
So unless you're actually taking care of your health and other things in life, and you're doing comedy, you're not a great partner. It's not happening. And that's where I was too. So I can speak from experience. But so the Never Date a Comedian concept, you started it in Singapore because you live there now.
I live in Singapore. So we've actually only done one show so far. We did it in Singapore, and it was probably my favorite night of my whole life. Absolutely just the best fun. The audience loved it. Nobody went home with a date, admittedly. So slight flaw in the plan, but it was just so much fun, and I'm so hyped. I'm so hyped to roll it out here.
That's amazing. And what was the feedback in Singapore?
Everybody loved it. The crowd was super happy. There was it was quite a different energy, I would say, to a straightforward stand-up show. There were no lulls in the applause. Everybody loved, from what I could tell, all of it, which was amazing. And I hosted the show. I co-hosted with a friend of mine, which was amazing. But it was really the comics that carried that show. I was just there to facilitate. I had 3 comics on the lineup, all of whom are relatively new at comedy, and they just crushed. So I'm so excited to see what, the lineups here do. People are even more professional. They're even more experienced. So it's going to be great.
Yeah. No, I'm excited to do it. So the concept of the show, is it pretty much you're trying to find a date for the comedians, or there's 3 of them, right? There's
3 comedians each night. As I say, 1 audience member. So we have a bunch of questions the audience member is going to ask to the comedians. Some of it's, more serious dating stuff. A lot of it's funny stuff. My favorite question is, write me a romantic poem right now. So that's things like that. We're going to give the chance for the comedians to do a short set each. So you get to hear some of their comedy. And it's really just going to be an exercise in being the funniest, because everyone loves funny. So I think, I do think the show's going to evolve throughout the week as well, when we see there's a lot of improv in there. But it's just for everyone to just get loose, have a lot of fun. And, maybe there'll be a Never Date a Comedian wedding. Maybe someone's going to name their baby after me.
Maybe.
I would love that.
Yeah, I would. Sasha's a great name.
It's a great name for a boy. I got in an Uber yesterday, and my Uber driver went, "Sasha?" I said, "Yes." He went, "That's a boy's name where I'm from." That was it. That's a conversation killer.
Conversation. Was he Eastern European?
He was from Afghanistan.
Sasha? Afghanistan?
No.
That's not. Is that an Afghani name? Sasha? I've never heard that in my life.
Oh, maybe he was just roasting me. I don't know.
Probably.
Maybe
Yeah. Maybe he was just negging you because he was trying to pick you up.
He's an Uber. He's supposed to pick me up.
So why did you move to Singapore?
So mainly to escape the bloody cold in the UK. I hated it. I just got a job opportunity out there with my day job. Got the opportunity to move out. I've always wanted to leave. I never felt the UK was for me. So first opportunity I got, I was out. It was 8 years ago, never looked back. Best
Wow.
place in the world.
Why did you feel like you weren't at home in the UK?
Do you know, I don't really know the answer. I always felt like an alien, like I never belonged there. I used to have this joke about, you know, they don't identify maybe with their gender. And I used to say, I never identified like with my nationality. And I really felt that. I would sit around the table and just think, you know, not my family and friends, but just in general, just think I don't belong here. This isn't for me. And then, yeah, the lifestyle's not great in London anyway. So
yeah, you don't like bangers and mash?
I mean, bangers and mash I miss.
Okay.
That I do miss. Bangers and mash and my sisters.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, your family.
Yeah.
How often do you see your family now?
I'm really lucky, like probably 2 or 3 times a year, which is great.
Okay.
My mum just came to Singapore, which was
nice.
fantastic. Yeah, I mean, I love them. I do. You know, people say, you know this, you live overseas. People say, oh, I could never move away because I love my family too much. Those two things are not, mutually exclusive. It's not one or the other. I love probably same as you guys. I love my family as much as everybody else. I just had other places I wanted to be to love them from.
100%. I totally agree with that. And also, you get a perspective on different types of the world. And opens up your brain to different opportunities, and also you just never know what you're gonna find in different places too. And do you think you'd ever live anywhere else?
I would love to go to the US eventually. I have a daughter, and in Asia we have really great childcare, affordable childcare. So as a single parent, I need that. When she's older, I would love to spend some time in the US.
Nice. So you're a single mom, you said?
I'm a single mom.
Right. And why is the daycare so good in Asia?
So we're really lucky where we have live-in housekeepers generally in Asia. Like there's it is somewhat controversial because of course, the wages for these amazing women are not, and the living conditions in some cases might not be ideal. We say helper. That's what we say in Singapore. We have a helper. My helper is the best in the world. She is part of the family. We take great care of her. She has a huge bedroom, and she's, to me, it's like having another family member. So she's amazing. She runs my life.
Wow. You have a person, like an Asian lady.
She's from the Philippines. She is amazing. She lives with me. She takes care of my daughter. She takes care of me, honestly. She's like the same age as my mum. So it's kind of like having,
really?
Yeah. I can't function without her.
So she's pretty much a second mom.
She's like,
you
she
and
is,
your daughter.
She kind of is, because I live like a teenager. So yes.
Yeah. Why do you live like a teenager?
It's probably the ADHD, the comedian lifestyle a bit. You guys have such a lovely, clean, tidy place. Never come to my house because I live like a frat boy.
Oh, wow.
I do. I mean, I don't because I have a housekeeper, but I would.
But if without Filipino lady,
yes,
completely just a dump.
I am disgusting.
Yeah.
No, I'm very clean. I'm very messy.
Yeah. Well, which woman isn't though?
Oh, well, that makes me feel better. I don't know. I say to my daughter sometimes, I'm like, can you tidy your room? And she's like, can you tidy yours?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, true story.
Damn.
True story, yeah.
Damn. She claps back.
Oh, she does. She's a good girl, but, she lives in a house with a mother who's a comedian. So she's a little comedian as well. She's way funnier than I am.
Do you think she'll do comedy when she gets older?
She's a really talented singer and dancer, so I hope she pursues that because probably better on the ego than comedy. But she is funny, and we're actually doing in Singapore a children's show. Her and we're going to do a family-friendly comedy show.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
like a talent show or like a
I'm a
pure
regular
comedy show.
Pure comedy. Just she wants to be part of organising it. It was her suggestion. I mean, she's probably not going to be on the lineup.
I mean, she should definitely middle at least.
She is. I would love to see that, but
headliner 11-year-old kid.
Yeah. So she's just got the one joke about tidying my room. That's it. Yeah. 7
hours straight. Just how about you clean your room, Mom?
That's it. It would probably still be better than any of my jokes. But yeah, she's. She asked if we could organise a show that kids could go to because she's never seen me perform comedy. And I did it. So we're going to do that in May. That's
cute. Like, how close are you with your daughter?
Oh, she's my other half, really. Wow. It's an unusual one because obviously I'm here, right? It's 10 days. I'm going to be here. I was in Bangkok a few weekends ago. Like it's not your it's not how I grew up, okay, with my mum around all the time. My ex-husband lives in Singapore, so my daughter spends time with him. So we are...
Oh, he also lives there?
He does live there, yes.
Because you also moved there?
We moved there together. We moved there married.
And then that's where you had your kid?
No, we had her in the UK. Then all three of us moved. I moved to Singapore married. And then 5 years ago, I got divorced.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is it, how does it work if you're in a different country? Like, is it the same laws or like same kind of process?
I got divorced under Singapore law. So it depends. You can choose.
Oh.
Yeah, you can choose. For me, Singapore law.
Like, what do you know if it's easier in Singapore than in the UK?
It can be. It depends what your position is. Singapore looks after women really well.
Oh, right.
In a divorce, in full stop, but in a divorce, and I'm a woman, so
yeah. So you got 100% of everything.
Oh God, no, God no, absolutely not. But I was.
They hate men over there.
Sadly, it's not like that. But I was the breadwinner, as they say.
Oh, you're the one who's making the bread.
I was the one making the bread, bringing home the bread. Yes.
So there's no need for
absolutely.
Buddy over there.
Exactly. So yeah, independent woman, and then I just became more independent.
Yeah. And now your kid's independent.
She's so independent. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah.
Do you think you'd ever have a second child?
I actually would. If the opportunity was there, I would. I'm so lucky that I'm in this position where I've done the marriage thing, I've done the babies thing. So if I don't get to do it again,
so
that's okay. I've done it. But if I do, amazing. I'm super open to whatever comes along. I don't know if I'm too old to have more kids though.
How old are you now?
I'm going to be 40 this year.
40?
I'm going to be 40 this year. I am.
It's cap.
I don't, no that sounds a very cool phrase that I don't know what that means.
Oh, you don't know?
You know why I don't know? I'm too old.
Cap is like you're lying.
I am not lying.
Wait, when is your birthday?
November.
Oh, yeah, me too.
November, yes. But you're not going to be 40.
Yeah.
You're going to be like, what, 22? You're going to be 30 this year?
Yeah, 30, yeah.
What are you going to do to celebrate?
Well, it's my champagne birthday, so we'll see. We're probably still going to be here, so.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I'm not going to have a baby for my 30th, that's for sure.
You'd have to hurry up, wouldn't you? Where are we?
I know.
April?
It's actually not possible.
It's
all right. Well, maybe next time.
Do you want kids?
Eventually, I think. I think I'd be a decent dad. You know?
You'd be such a lovely dad.
Yeah. I don't know. You can never control these things. I don't know. I mean, in terms of like knowing how you would be, I feel like it's a very primal thing. You'll learn as you go, right? It's like, I don't know. Like, I feel like, did you ever expect that you would have a kid? And if you did, then like, did you think you would act the way you do with your kid?
So exactly that. Like, I always knew I would have kids, but my life was so different when I was married. I thought I was going to be one of these 3 kids, white picket fence, kind of.
Suburban.
That's what I thought. Suburban. I say suburban housewife, although I wasn't a housewife. But I wasn't taking great care of what I looked like. I was like, I didn't really have much of a life, and I just thought that was going to be life. And now, only have 1 child, single parent, very different life to what I ever expected, which is just incredible. I wake up every day like, oh my God. The fact I'm sat here with you, Neema, is blowing my mind right now. Like, so many things in my life blow my mind.
Why is it blowing your mind?
To be sat here with you, because I was such a big fan. I was such a big fan before I met you. And then I met you in person and was like, oh, it's from the TikTok.
That's right.
Yeah.
Starstruck in the moment.
I'm starstruck now. I don't know how I'm coping.
You're doing great. And so, like, what's been the toughest thing about having a kid and doing comedy?
As I say, I'm super lucky with, having my helper, my housekeeper. So childcare is not so much an issue, but I'm not, I couldn't come out for the whole festival. There's no way. I don't want to be away from my daughter that long. This is the longest I've been away for comedy, I think, is about this 10 days that I'm going to be here. So I don't have that. I don't even want that freedom. I wouldn't swap it for anything. But, when I saw all you guys in Perth, I was just there for the weekend and then I went home because I had other responsibilities. So that's a big thing. I think the other thing is I worry a lot about how I'm perceived, maybe more than I would if I wasn't a parent. Part of that's the corporate job as well, I think.
From your kid?
No,
or just in general.
Just in general as a comedian.
Other people judging you?
I do worry a little bit. Like, I just think it holds me back somewhat in terms of what I write about and what I talk about. It's subconscious. It's hard to articulate, but I do.
You think that other comedians judge you for being a single parent?
No, not that so much. I worry about, content that I put out there and the image I have and the kind of jokes I worry about being offensive, insulting, more than I would, I think, if I didn't have a child and didn't have a corporate job. So I know that limits me somewhat. But the main thing about being a parent is I was hosting a show in Singapore. We have our most famous comedian is Kumar, who's absolutely incredible. And just as I was wrapping up that show, I get this call from her and she's like, "Mummy, my tummy hurts. Can you come home?" And I was like, I literally can't come home. I'm about to wrap up this show. There was no option. It was a sold out crowd. That's when it gets tough, that kind of thing.
Damn. So how do you deal with, what do you do in that situation?
I was like, I'm going to be, at that I was lucky because I think we were like 10 minutes to the end of the show. Really, you just hope it doesn't happen.
Damn.
That's it. Even when I'm here, I'm like, I could get a phone call, "Mummy, I don't feel good." I don't really have an answer to what I would do, but maybe that's not so different from anyone with any job.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah. Well, the show you were at and you got a call, what did you end up doing?
So Kumar, the comic, was still on stage. So I was just texting my daughter. I was like, "You keep texting me, tell me how you're feeling. And then I'm going to go on stage. I'm going to close the show and I will be in a taxi home immediately." That's what I did.
And then what did she say?
She didn't really have much of a choice. And that's where I feel bad, that's where I do sometimes think, her and I have this joke. I say, "Do you wish you had a normal mummy?" And do you wish you had a mummy that wasn't a comedian? Because we goof off at home all the time. It's like I'm on comedian mode all the time at home. So
it's a good person to practice on.
Yeah, absolutely. And her and I, we're crazy at home together and we have so much fun. But I know that she gets the downside where we're not doing arts and crafts on on an evening like other people, other people's mums would do with them.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you have nights off where you do that, right?
I do. What I tend to do is, unless I'm hosting a show, I will go last on the lineup. So I put her to bed first and then I go out.
Oh, okay. And then the housekeeper is still there.
And she's there. She lives there. So I never have to worry about that. So I can just go.
Right. So when your daughter texts you if she has a problem, the housekeeper's always there.
Oh, anyway. Yeah. She's not there by her. God, no. She's not there by herself. No. She's
11 she's 11, right?
Yeah, she's 11. She's not just please keep this in the podcast. She's not by herself.
This is on record. She's not by herself, guys. All right?
She's not.
She's fine. She has a housekeeper. She's a Filipino lady. She's 40 or 60 whatever years old. Yep.
She's being looked after, but she wants her mum in a situation like that.
100%. I think that's the most natural human thing is to just want your own mom or your own parent or whatever.
Yeah.
And so when did you start doing comedy again?
So I actually only started doing stand-up a couple of years back.
Right.
I've done improv my whole life and acting and stuff like that literally since I was 2 years old. So, and I've been obsessed with comedy my whole life. So I don't know why it took me so long to do stand-up.
Yeah, you're loafing. You're slacking.
I know.
What have you acted in?
So I did a couple of movies in Singapore, like local productions. So I did one was called Papa Mio and the other one was called Love Yours Truly. So you can look those up.
They're gonna look those up.
Yeah, and I did a lot of stage acting. I mean, my parents put me into acting classes from 2 years old.
So you're a theater nerd.
Oh, I'm a big theater nerd. I just can't sing and dance. I can only act. So
what's the point of being a theater nerd then?
I'm a flawed theater nerd. I'm a wannabe theater kid is what I am.
What was the last theater performance you did?
Oh, we did the last theater. I was in Sweeney Todd in Singapore. We were also rehearsing for a really amazing comedy that I had the lead in. And then COVID came and we got literally to the last day of rehearsals. And they shut Singapore down. So I never got to perform it, but it is available on YouTube. I can't remember what it's called though. A Supreme Triumph of Something Brilliance. It's on there.
Okay.
Yes.
And have you thought of getting back into it now?
I think stand-up takes up too much of my time. So no, basically. Although, you know, the Never Date a Comedian show, it's improv. It really is improv more than stand-up. And I do love it. You know, there is something really special. Improv doesn't get the glamour of stand-up, I think.
Never. I mean...
And it's actually great.
I mean, it is, but it's like, I just feel like stand-up is just better overall.
I agree. And my thing is like, I was just like, okay, I love improv. I love this, but how do I not have to wait for everyone else to say what they're going to say and just say my stuff?
Right. Yeah, it's a little selfish, stand-up.
Selfish. Oh, it's
very conceited.
The number one. Do you feel that? Do you think we're all big egotistical maniacs?
No, I mean, I'm just kidding, but I mean, well, it is an individualistic art form, obviously. It's like, hey, listen to me. I'm on stage now, listen to me, all right? You have to be quiet and hear what I have to say for the next 15, 20 minutes. And if you don't laugh, then I'm going to be mad at you.
1,000%. And
So,
if you don't laugh, it's going to ruin my whole week. No pressure.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, this is the reason why I'm in a dark, deep depression is because you're not laughing at my jokes that I think are hilarious. Even if you don't find them hilarious, that's your fault.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not my fault.
I was like, you, specifically you.
Specifically you,
yeah.
lady in the front. Just so traumatic. Just PTSD for every night.
It's so true. Sometimes, do you ever feel like, why do I put myself through this?
No, I mean, no. I mean, there's no turning back. Because I've talked about this a lot, but like, you know, I've dropped out of university, like when I first started, 9 years ago. And there was no scenario of me going back to anything else. Because I already dropped out. I went all into comedy and acting, right? And stuff like that. And I was like, if this doesn't work, then I'd rather be homeless.
I love
so it's
that.
like, if it's either this or that, like there's no other scenario. There's no other option. So I don't know. I love it. It's almost sometimes like a love-hate relationship because it's like, it is so hard. It is tough to get through. But that's why we were talking about comedians being good partners. I think in order to sustain this long term, you have to have good habits and you have to have good. You have to have a very optimal lifestyle as a human being first.
Yes.
If you want to be a good comedian or if you want to be a good performer, whatever it is, right? Because if you're just gonna crash and burn every few weeks or every few months because you drink too much or you eat too much or drugs or party or whatever, like sleep, it's like so endless things that could just distract you and bring you down. But but for me, I'm like, well, how do I not let that happen? That's a question I'm always answering every day.
And you do a great job of taking care of yourself. You look fantastic.
Thank
by the
you.
way.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
It's been a few months since I saw you. You look great.
Yeah. We're working. You know, we're in the gym. We're eating healthy. We're eating clean. We're sleeping better, taking care of the habits. Right. So it's a long journey, right? But you need that longevity to be able to perform optimally in this craft, especially, right?
Yes.
So what's been I'd say the toughest thing about being a woman in comedy?
Oh, it's such a hard one. I think particularly in Singapore, I'm less of an anomaly now, but certainly when I started, I think I was the only white woman in comedy. So I was like two things removed from most of the scene. I think, you know, I don't want to get into this whole like, oh, we don't get the same opportunities, because I am really lucky and I do get great opportunities. It's hard, you know, it was hard to step into that scene where everybody knew each other. It was a lot of, even, you know, wherever I am comedy wise, a lot of men, it's a lot of banter, and to like insert yourself into that and to feel comfortable in that room, you know, in the green room with everyone. You know, and I grew up with all women. So my mum was a single mum. I have a daughter. I have two sisters. So this male energy thing it's still new to me now. And I have this joke where I'm not an on-stage joke, but, you know, I joke with my friends, like, I got to get some female friends, man. Like, because I spend that's actually the hardest thing, is like, I am not programmed like the men are. So when I first started, I was like, I'm going to do every post-show drink. I'm going to do all of them. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be friends with everyone. And then I started to realize, you know what, like, I don't actually have to do that, and it's a different energy from, you know, it's hard for me sometimes to keep up with the banter and stuff, you know, not to keep up with the banter, but you know, the man banter.
Yeah.
And I was, you know, exhausted after a while with it. So now I have a different approach. That was probably the hardest thing though, was feeling like I could fit in. In terms of opportunities, I do think in general, there are less opportunities for women in comedy. I feel like I have to prove myself 1,000 times more than if I was a man, but I could not tell you whether that was based on fact or my own perception. So I don't want to claim that. That's probably a lot of people's thoughts. So
interesting. What's this male banter that you don't feel like you're a part of?
It's just a different world. You men are you're just different people. Like it's. I just wasn't used to, you know, you kind of talk, you roast each other a lot. Like I'm with my female friends. We're like, oh my God, you're incredible. No, girl, you're incredible. Oh my God, you should definitely text him 78 times, even though he hasn't replied and blocked your number and moved house. You should so do that. But men, they're like, dude, you suck. And it's like,
so true.
And I'm like, but then they do it to me, the guys. And part of it makes me feel super, super included. So the first time I ever felt included in Singapore is an amazing comic. His name's Cam. You're going to meet him because he's going to do my show. He's here in Melbourne right now. And he just like roasted me about something. I barely knew him. And I was like, thank God, I feel so accepted.
You're one of the boys now.
I literally felt that. It was the first time I thought he was really mean to me. And it was the first time I thought, I think I might have some friends on this scene.
I'm in.
Yeah. But it is hard sometimes it's tiring.
I get it. I know, because I feel the same way.
Oh, interesting.
That's why I don't like hanging around too much, to be honest.
Oh.
Because it's draining on my energy. I'm like, I already went on stage 2 times, 3 times in a night, just trying to tell these jokes. I use my body a lot. I'm physical. I'm loud.
Yeah.
And so it's like now I have to keep up with these other comics who are trying to be funny off stage. Like, nah, I'm trying to go home and watch some YouTube or some shit. Like, 100%. I want to be by myself.
100%.
And so I totally understand where you're coming from. And it's like some of the banter too. I'm like, it's not really my style of humor either. I'm like, I don't know. I have nothing to add. And then now I feel like I'm not included, and it feels weird. But like, it's almost like a rite of passage sometimes to be included in it. And it's like, if they roast you, obviously that means they like you, right? So I totally get why you would feel that way with the other comic who roasted you. You're like, oh my God, thank God.
Honestly.
Yeah, that means he likes me.
Yeah, I was like, someone wants to be my friend. But it's same as you. I'm drained after the show. And like, sometimes I'm like, people expect me to be funny, whether it's comedians or non-comedians. And sometimes I'm like, I got nothing for you, buddy. Like I got nothing.
Has there ever been a time where like you're in a group setting with comics and they're talking and they're like laughing about random shit, and then you feel obligated to almost chime in, but like you don't have anything?
Oh my God, do you have this as well? This happens to me all the time, and I'm like, am I actually funny? Maybe I'm just super boring. It's like my brain goes, nope. Yeah, nothing. Nope, you have used up all your funny for today. Sorry, please come back tomorrow.
Yeah, no, that happens to me sometimes where I'm like, I'm not trying to impress anyone. It's just like, it would be nice if I had something to chime in with. But half the time I'm just like, smiling away, like,
yeah,
kind of like fake laughing sometimes, you know, like not really fake laughing. It's more like I'm still like, I find it funny. It's just maybe like if I don't have anything to say, at least I can chime in with like my sound coming from my body.
Yes.
Like, oh, he's listening. At least he's there.
Yes.
But otherwise it's just like it's too much sometimes.
Completely. I completely agree. And I love it. I say that, but hanging out with comics is also my favorite thing in the whole world.
Well, it's also like there's no other people in the world that are going to talk about all the different topics in the span of 5 minutes than comics would.
Exactly.
So that's why it's fun in many different ways. And it's like interesting. And also like these people, like you almost like you get each other because you're in the same field. And so you almost feel like it's a safe space to be fucking weird.
100%.
You won't feel judged. But that's not all comics, because there are some comedians who are very like woke or fucking, I don't know, weird or triggered by everything, and like you can't say certain things around them.
For sure.
Those people, I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about the comics who are just like they have no boundary. Like those are my favorite people. Because
Same.
I'm like, you're not gonna judge me. You're also gonna add some fucked up shit to this conversation. But if anybody else heard this, we'd go to jail. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like that kind of.
1,000%, and I love it. And you know, I always say, we were talking about dating earlier. Like this is one of the reasons I find it hard to date, because I like to just hang out with comics, and like, you know, that I'm really boring. If you're not a comic, I'm probably really boring to spend time with, because all I want to talk about is comedy, and you know, or just, you know, banter and things like that. I'm actually not much use for anything else, to be honest.
Are you? Have you ever gone on an actual date with a comedian before?
I guess not. No.
You're lying. There's cap. We're capping again.
An actual date with a comedian.
Otherwise, never date a stand-up comedian wouldn't have been a thing. I feel like that triggered it.
Have I? No. It
you
was
don't have to name names. You don't have to name names, obviously. But
never date a comedian doesn't come from my experience. It's never date me is what I mean when I say that. Right. Don't date me.
All right, that's
I'm a disaster. No, I'm not. You guys are awesome. It's me. I'm the problem.
I'm the shit one.
Yeah, no. That's what that means, because I honestly do believe that. Have I? Yeah, I have been on dates with comics, and you know, it's better. Honestly, it's better.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I like it. Because they get me, and I can talk about stuff that will go over someone else's head, and should go over someone else's head. No one else should care. Like, oh my God, so like I changed how I said this phrase today, and I got like a lot more laughs, and then tomorrow I'm going to do this. No one else cares about that shit. Like my mum has to sit through me talking about that stuff, and even she is so over it.
That's so funny. She's like, all right, Sasha, just fucking move on, please.
Honestly,
I've had enough, yeah? I've had just about enough. I've just about had enough, yeah?
That's it. That is,
it was
like
sounds?
She was in the room with us right now.
Sasha, love.
Pretty much.
Does she call you love?
She doesn't call me love.
Okay.
No, she calls me Sash.
Sash?
Sash.
Sash.
Sash, yes.
Sash, what you on about?
What you on about,
What you on about, Sash?
Yes.
It's so good, right? His British accent's my favorite, yeah.
Oh, really? And you have all the accents, so...
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit?
Yeah, just trying, yeah.
You do great.
Can you tell the difference between East London, West London?
Oh, for sure.
Northern,
I mean, within London, it's harder. I can hear an East London accent because I'm from East London, but the nuances are smaller. Whereas, obviously, like the north of the UK, totally different accent. Totally different accent,
right,
yeah. Yeah, please don't ask me to do it. You do it.
What, northern London?
North of the UK.
North of the UK. Oh, yeah. I don't even know what the fuck is up there. It's I don't even know what like is Liverpool north?
Liverpool, yeah.
Oh, Liverpool's fucking nice.
Yeah. I knew you would be able to do the Liverpool accent.
Liverpool's my favorite one. I've been practicing every day, to be honest. I just listen to Kyle.
I was going to say, right? Kyle Legacy, right?
He's like, man, you're fucking doing this fucking gig. You know?
It's perfect. It's spot on.
I told us fucking guy jokes for fucking pussies and cruise ships.
It's perfect.
It's my favorite. It's so fun to do, and it's like. Also, have you seen that Liverpool video, like the one that went viral? The kid like is on an interview about the soccer game. Have you seen that one?
Tell me more.
It goes like the guy's like asking him about like the Liverpool FC, like the team. And the guy's like, yeah, I'm being fucking serious. Being fucking serious. Sadio Mane, greatest player in the fucking world. You know, and like he's just like going off about it and like whatever. That like every time I see that video, I just think of Kyle Legacy, and then vice versa. When I hear fucking Kyle talk, I hear about this video, and that's my only reference of a Liverpool accent.
Well, it's perfect.
Yeah,
your accent is perfect.
I genuinely, and Paddy McBaddy too. He's a UFC fighter. He's also it's pretty much the same shit. But do you have a favorite UK accent?
Probably not. I like the American accent.
You just hate UK, eh?
I know. I'm just, I'm a self-hating Brit. I'm not. I don't think we have any, the Irish accent's kind of nice. It's technically not UK, but the American accent. So I grew up with American culture. Like you grow up in the UK, you grow up with like Saved by the Bell and stuff like that and all that kind of thing. So for me, the American accent is the, you know,
it's the fun one for you?
Yeah, that's the fun one. That's
like which American accent? There's a couple different ones.
Oh God, All of them.
Really?
No, any of them. Honestly, any of them. Because that was, that very basic kind of TV accent.
Right. So pretty much like my accent.
Yeah, your accent, honestly. You're from Canada, right? You're not,
I'm
but
Canadian.
you have a very American sounding accent.
People think I'm American because they think I'm from New York.
Yeah, I would
because I have
say
an urban Canadian accent, so it's similar. New York is also like right under and like it's on the same coast, so I get why. But I personally like the Canadian accent a lot too, and like a lot of people don't like their own accent, which is weird. But do you not like your own accent?
I hate it.
Why?
I hate it. I mean, the original, the Essex girl accent is
the Essex
girl, innit? Like, that's how I talk.
No,
like,
I really love him. Yeah.
Oh my god, and he's like well fit.
Well fit. That's a good one. I like well fit. Well fit's funny.
That's how people talk where I'm from. With no disrespect to them, amazing place.
Right.
Such a cool place, but I'm not sorry to not talk. Am I allowed to say that? I'm not sorry to not talk like that.
And this is going on record, and we're going to put you on blast and expose you on Twitter.
Please, Sasha Frank hates Essex.
You're not allowed on Love Island anymore.
Oh, that's such a shame because I was literally just going to do that.
Ah, shit. All right.
They're looking for a 40-year-old single mother on Love Island.
Is there any specific slang that you like about the UK that compared to other, do you have any?
So I love this. Fill your boots.
Fill your boots?
Do you know what that means? Fill your boots. Go for it. If you were like at my house and you're like, Sasha, can I take some of your potato chips? I'd be like, oh my God. First of all, I'd say they're crisps, not potato chips.
Right.
But then I'd be like, yeah, fill your boots.
Fill your boots.
Fill your boots, yeah.
I've never heard that one
favorite.
either. Yeah. That's a good one. I like that. Fill your boots.
Teach me a Canadian one.
I was actually talking about this yesterday. When there's this is specific to Toronto because I'm from Toronto, Canada. And there's a slang. It's actually very similar to London slang.
Okay.
London, UK. It's very like a lot of the Toronto slang is pretty much London slang, but with an accent, different accent. Yeah. So we say if there's like too much of something or like there's a lot of people, you'd be like, yo, there's bare people.
Yeah,
right
we would say that in the UK. Yeah,
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
My God, there's like bare people in it.
Bare youths, fam.
Bare youths.
Bare youths, innit?
I love that.
You lot.
Use lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Bear is a common one, or like ting. Obviously, like that ting right there is fire, fam. You know what I'm saying?
You would say that as well. Interesting.
Like bare tings, fam. The same thing, right? Fam, obviously, UK and Toronto. I like those a lot. Also, we say what I like to say a lot is, yo, what are you saying?
What you saying?
Yo, what are you saying?
What you saying, bro?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what that means, right?
Like, what's up?
Yeah, but you say that in America, they're like, what do you mean? What am I didn't say anything.
Oh,
right? They don't get it.
Okay.
Yeah. But I feel like UK gets it a lot. Even here, though, obviously they don't. It's a totally different world over here in Australia. It's a completely fucking alien world over here. You know what I'm saying?
This is a lot of the slang here is very British, but
it is
also some of it is alien to me.
Alien,
also,
It's
what's your favorite from Australia?
Favorite what?
Phrase.
Oh, phrase. Oh, there's a lot. Obviously the C word. I don't want to get flagged, but definitely I like saying that one sometimes because I can't say it back home.
That was childish glee. I love saying the C word.
Makes me feel so giddy. No, I really like using that one a lot because it's like everyone says it. It's also way less looked down on here than it is back home, especially in the States and Canada. You can't even say there's no scenario where I could say the C word back home and not get shunned. Like people would be super offended by it. But here it's like like this kind. You know what I'm saying? Like it's very so common, right? I also heaps.
Okay.
Yeah, heaps of fucking birds.
They say birds here as well. Do they?
Oh, I'm just saying like.
Is it like
actual
birds? Oh, okay, not birds as in women.
They do say birds as women. I think
Okay.
in some parts. Yeah.
Okay.
The bogans. Yeah. Those are some of my favorites. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have some favorites?
I haven't spent enough time here yet to know really.
True.
And it isn't super different from the UK from what I can tell.
Yeah, it's very similar. What parts of Australia have you been to?
I've been to Sydney. Both of my best friends moved to Sydney last year, so I've been coming back and forth from Sydney because I miss them. Perth. I've been to the Gold Coast. Have you been to the Gold Coast?
We're going in May, actually.
Oh my God, it's so fun. It's so fun.
What's your favorite part about it?
I partied there, so it was
Recently?
No, it was just before COVID. It was just as the world was about to shut down. That was
it
great.
must have been sick.
It was amazing, great fun. Beautiful people. Same as Sydney. Oh my God, in Sydney, beautiful people everywhere. which is intimidating, I find.
Why?
But why?
Yeah.
It's just like what are they made of, these people?
Right.
Like
Everyone's
incredible.
also fit and has a nice body.
Fit and tan
hot.
and blonde and tall and which is good for them. Good for you,
for them.
Sydney.
Yeah,
fine,
yeah. Good,
fine,
not good for me
you.
because I'm fucking jealous.
Yeah,
and I feel
100%.
like a piece of shit.
I'm like, I will just stay indoors with a bag over my head. No, but it's so Sydney, yeah, and obviously
Nice.
Melbourne.
What's your favorite place in the States?
Oh, Florida. I know it's
yes, one of
controversial.
us.
Oh, actually, I'm going to say two things: Florida and Austin.
Oh, there you go.
Florida and Austin.
We're both on the same page there.
Oh, you? Because usually when I say Florida, people are
I
like,
love
"Oh my
Florida.
god, it's
my
the best
favorite- one of my favorite
place."
places.
What do you love about Florida?
Everything. The weather, the people, the
Yeah.
culture. There's a lot of Latinos there.
Yeah.
I love Latino people. Like the women, it's nice, and also just like the music, the culture behind all that stuff. The thing is, the comedy's not great there.
Ah, okay.
But there's so much potential for a good comedy culture and scene in Florida, in Miami specifically, Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
I think there's a thirst for it. It's just like you have to battle like clubs and dancing and beach, right?
For sure.
So, but I know it's gonna get there soon, and it'll be a fucking complete state.
Okay.
And the freedom that's over there is you can't beat it. They also don't have the state tax, same with Texas, right?
Okay.
And Nevada, right? Those are my favorite places because of those reasons.
Are you a Vegas fan?
I love Vegas. Yeah,
I'm gonna
we
go.
both love Vegas.
So Vegas is also my favorite place ever. I'm gonna go to Vegas for my 40th. Come on, you're gonna be 30 at the same time. Let's make it happen, Vegas.
Wait, when's your birthday exactly?
November.
What?
My November 14th, but I'm gonna be there probably end of October. I'm gonna be in Vegas.
Oh, okay. I'm
So-
November 30th.
Oh, so we're both November.
Yeah, you're a Scorpio.
I'm a Scorpio. You're not, right?
I'm a Sagittarius.
Okay, I don't know. I'm not a.
You're not
I'm
an
not
astrology
an expert.
girly?
No.
No?
I'm not.
Not
Are
a
you an
basic bitch?
astrology? Are you an
A
astrology
little
girly?
bit.
Are you?
A little bit. For a guy, I think I know too much.
Okay, I know nothing about it.
Yeah.
People are like, "Oh, you're a Scorpio," and
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's me.
"Yes,
Yeah.
through and through."
Yeah. What's your favorite thing to do in Vegas?
So okay, first it's going to be a boring answer. I have an uncle who lives there who's like 92, and I go and visit him.
So that's the epitome
that's-
of Vegas, guys.
Yeah, it's
Seeing your
rock and roll.
92-year-old uncle.
That is what I go to. Is that not why everyone goes to Vegas?
I guess they do.
No, what do I mean, I tend to go to do family stuff. I've only partied there once.
Naughty.
Loved it. Just once.
Cheeky partying.
Cheeky party. I like to party anywhere,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
Great food as well. Great
Oh
food
man,
in
the
Vegas.
food is amazing. Yes.
Yeah. What about you? What do you love about
The
it?
buffets.
Yeah, same. That's really what I'm
Buffets
there
are fire. Unlike anywhere else in the world. I mean, I haven't been to some parts that probably have good buffets, but actually, I see a lot of videos of Sonny, the food review guy. He does he's like one of the biggest food review channels in the world.
I actually don't know him.
He does a lot of things in Singapore, Malaysia, like all the Asian countries. Yeah. And he does reviews on like buffets in Singapore too. Singapore buffets I've seen are also unreal.
We have the best food in the world in Singapore.
Is that a fact?
That is a fact. Best food in the world. No, legit. It is incredible.
What
It's
what makes you say that?
So we have influence from all over the world there.
Really?
And we have, what's great there is we have street food, but it's a super clean country. So you have the street food without having to worry about the food hygiene. So it's like the best of both worlds. And you can get an amazing dinner for like $7.
Like US or
Probably, I mean, yeah. Either way,
still cheap as fuck.
Cheap. It's
Right.
super cheap. And honestly, we just have the best food. We really do.
Wow. What's like the best food there?
The local food is incredible. Anything you have, like any of the noodle dishes, rice dishes, if you like Asian food, and we have great high-end restaurants as well, great buffets, but really the street food, we have Satay Street. They close the street off in the evening, or they're out like cooking the satay, and you
skewers,
get the skewers, incredible. So
Wow.
you have to come.
I know,
So good.
yeah.
You have to come to Singapore.
Do you explore Singapore? Like, do you explore the city ever? Like, or are you just kind of used to it now?
I know I do. I mean, Singapore never gets old for me. It's a tiny place, Singapore. It's tiny place. So there isn't, you can see it all pretty quickly. But I never lose that, oh my God, I live here feeling. There's always, it might not be something I'm doing for the first time because we do a lot of the same stuff in Singapore, but it's amazing every time you do it.
Like, what's your favorite thing to do in Singapore?
The food for sure. I mean, it's
just food tours every day.
Yeah, I just get up, eat breakfast, eat lunch, eat dinner, go to bed.
Wow.
That's it. No, probably that. We have great partying. We have a great party scene in Singapore. And of course the comedy scene.
Yeah.
The comedy scene's growing.
Yeah. No, I've heard. What's like the main thing that people do in Singapore that's like a common thing?
Food,
for
on
fun.
it, genuinely food.
Is
it's
like,
our national pastime is like eating.
Yeah, like eating out is a common thing in Asia, I've heard. It's
Absolutely.
Like, it's just like a part of the culture.
For sure. So I know that probably sounds like a lame answer, but honestly, it is food.
Yeah.
That is, what people do, whether you're a local or a tourist, it's the best thing to do there.
Yeah. You being like a white lady, being in Singapore, do you feel like you get judged by or like weird looks by people, or
not really? It's very multicultural, Singapore. I mean, the first language is English. We have a huge population of expats that have moved there for work. So not really. I'm one of many.
Nice,
to be honest. On the comedy scene, less so, but in real life, one of many. Yeah.
What's the comedy scene like?
It's mainly Singaporean men.
Oh, okay.
But which is as it would be.
Yeah,
that's the nature of comedy. Yeah.
And what? So you're the only white woman that's a comic in Singapore?
Not now. We've got a few new open micers who are emerging, who are white ladies. Which is, I mean, any ladies on the scene is fantastic. Any women on the scene is, it's. I never feel like as a white person I can be like, oh, we're so underrepresented. That's not true. I can, but it would not go well. But we're not. It's just I live in Asia, and that is, I should be a minority because it's not my country. So
yeah,
that's right.
You should feel oppressed being there.
I should feel oppressed, but I do not.
Yeah,
because
you
it's
have
a
a
wonderful
housekeeper.
I have a housekeeper. Yeah, she sometimes she takes a day off, and then I have to wash a dish.
Oh my goodness! How dare she? How dare she?
I know, it's a hard life. It's a wonderful life.
So like, are there schools for your kid to go to that's like just like English and it's normal? Like
So the Singapore school system is the best in the world.
Really?
Yeah.
Everything's the best in the world in Singapore.
I know. The Singapore Tourist
Board.
The Singapore Tourist Board are paying me a considerable amount of money. No, it genuinely is. It's known to be the best in the world
for education.
Yes.
Why? What's the reason?
There's a lot of emphasis on education. It's very much it's a lot of emphasis on academics and the importance of it's a lot of pressure on the kids as well. And my daughter doesn't go to a local school. It's very hard as a expat to get into a local school. So she's at an international school, but the school system, I guess it depends what your measure of a good school is, but in terms of actual education and results, Singapore it's tough, but it's the best in the world.
And how does your daughter feel about going to school in Singapore? Like, did she feel weird about it? Because like she was raised in the UK, no?
No, she was only in the UK till she was 3.
Oh, so she
doesn't know.
It.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she goes. I mean, I worry that if I ever had to go back, I don't know how she would fit in an English school. That's more of a concern for me. Hopefully, not ever an issue.
Right.
But so she's at an international school, kids from all over. She's getting this amazing experience that I never had. So she's I don't know if she knows how lucky she is, but she's very lucky.
She'll know when she gets older.
I hope so, yeah.
Do you guys, is there something that you have that's like an ongoing thing every week to do with your daughter, like for fun?
We do a lot of karaoke.
Oh, yeah?
That's what we do. We do karaoke because so I have this joke I tell about how her and I don't have anything in common, but that's kind of true, right? What am I going to have in common with an 11-year-old? So we have to find common ground, and our common ground is karaoke. That's what we do.
Inside the house?
Inside the house.
Is it because your housekeeper's Filipino?
It isn't, but she would know. She probably listens to my karaoke and is just like, this is the worst thing I've ever heard. We do. It's a lot of Taylor Swift right now in my house.
Swiftie?
I'm not, but I have an 11-year-old. She's a Swiftie. So Taylor Swift was just in Singapore.
Yeah, I saw you post about it. Yeah,
it was a whole thing. So because in Singapore, when we get an international star like that, the whole place practically shuts down because it's such a big thing. So
it's like bigger than the country.
Literally.
Right? So it was something like 1% of the entire population was there every night. So it was 60,000 people each night. It's she's up and coming. You'll hear of her soon. I think she's incredible what she does. She's a businesswoman. a great influence, I think. She works hard. She's very talented. So yeah.
You were hating on her though.
It's was I hate? Okay, so I wasn't a Taylor Swift fan until I saw her and
then what'd you
appreciated.
think?
And I was like, oh god, she works so hard, and I'm a woman and I'm a parent to a daughter. Like that influence, I think, is incredible.
All right, this is where I'm going to jump in. Okay, here's my one beef with Taylor Swift. I think she's amazing, talent, worked hard, deserve, like all of those things aside. But two things can be true at the same time. My one beef with her is that the songs she sings makes me feel like she's singing it from the perspective of like an 18-year-old girl who's like heartbroken. But it's like, you're like 32 or whatever.
No, she's like 36, I think.
I think she's 33.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I don't think she's like misrepresenting herself, but it's like it's been the same thing almost for like 2 decades, and it's just heartbreak and
How much heartbreak?
I don't know. Maybe it's like, and then you start to wonder, like, maybe you're the problem. You know, like you're the common denominator in this whole. You know,
I mean, it's working for her. She's getting that bag.
She has the song.
Agreed. Yeah.
The song goes, "It's me, hi, I'm the problem, it's me." She's saying
True.
it. She's
She does
with
have
you.
that song?
She
Yeah,
has
it's
that
me.
song.
Hi,
Yeah.
I'm the problem, it's me.
Yeah.
Me. Yeah, that's one of her newest songs, actually.
Yeah.
It's funny.
all right.
So
And I'm
there's
changing my mind in real time.
But there's two things I guess I would say to that. Either there's this thing I saw recently that people that came up famous kind of get stuck at the age at which they became famous. It might have even been Taylor Swift that said that. I can't remember.
True.
And also, she may also be playing to her audience, I guess.
Well, her audience is everyone.
Yeah.
She's got
Maybe.
people my age, your age, older, kids.
Yeah.
Who else is doing that shit? That's wild.
Yeah, she's amazing. So she's going to be so glad I came on here and stood up for her. She's like going to be like, thank God.
She watches this podcast. Actually. She's one of the 100 downloads on Spotify.
I like Love Story. That's a good song.
Oh, it's such a good
It's
song.
like fucking 20 years ago.
That was there were a lot of proposals. People were proposing during Love Story in
that's a common
Singapore.
thing.
That was what I was hoping for. I was hoping to get proposed to during Love Story, but I don't have a partner, so it was probably a long shot.
Yeah. If I knew this, I would have been there.
Oh, I wish you had, because that was all. That's why I bought the Taylor Swift ticket. I was trying to find someone to come and propose to me, but
Knight in Shining Armor didn't show up.
no, it was just me and my 11-year-old and a $25 beer. That was it.
That's expensive.
It might not have been $25, but I'm
Yeah,
trying to get
pretty
my
much.
daughter to cut down on the beer.
Oh,
anyway,
that's good.
so,
That's good. Yeah,
yeah.
smart actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's only 11, so.
yeah, it's too much.
I mean, like, I don't know if you are doing this, but is there a dating scene in Singapore, and how is it if you are into it?
Now we're getting into it. Okay. Yeah, honestly.
And a $25
You
beer.
could do like a zoom in with like sad music for this bit. So when I was first single, I used to date. I used to go on 3 dates a day. Because I was like, before
3
I started.
dates a day?
Yeah, before I started doing stand up, I was like,
What?
yeah, I was like, my singleness is a problem to be solved. I must find myself my next husband and the one after that and the one after that.
That's wild.
So I would go on 3 dates. I would use the dating apps because I was very first single just as COVID hit. So it all kind of coincided. So dating apps were the option. So as a white woman in Singapore, I've been told this on a date, no less, I am bottom of the barrel.
Wow.
On a
No way somebody said that to you.
On a date. I nearly didn't sleep with him. No, I didn't. I didn't. Just to clarify, I did not.
Wait, what?
Yeah, we gotta hear this story now.
Yeah. You were on a date with some Singaporean guy.
I was on a date with a white guy
Oh, in Singapore.
in Singapore.
And he said, you're bottom of the barrel.
As a white woman, you do know you're bottom of the barrel. Yeah.
Okay, Fools,
Yeah.
can you please elaborate on how the fuck this happened?
It really was just as simple as that. So in general, you know, you have a lot of men come over from Europe, from the US to Singapore, and they date the Asian women, as they should, because the Asian women are glorious and beautiful
I would
and
love to do that.
amazing.
I would love to do that.
Yeah,
I
beautiful
love Asian
women.
girls.
Not your type, but
No, he
I
hates
mean,
them.
Well, fair.
Not into them, but
That's
I love Asian ladies.
There you go, right? Beautiful women. I mean, gorgeous. So I totally get that. And, you know, maybe a slightly different personalities as well to my annoying self.
Everyone's
And-
annoying.
And and then so they say the expat men want to date Asian women and the Asian men want to date Asian women, which is fine. I had 2 boyfriends in Singapore who were both Singaporean, and one of those relationships ended because his parents didn't approve, essentially. I mean, look, he would probably say there were other nuances. I'm the problem, it's me. But yeah, that was a massive issue, was that his parents did not approve. So that's how it's really tough to date there. But now I do stand up. I don't date at all, because what I've added, not only am I a white woman in Asia, I'm now a comedian, which as a woman is just man repellent. I've gone under the barrel now as a comedian. But yeah, so sorry, I got off track. This guy just said it to me on a date. He was like,
the first moment, or like
I can't remember.
Okay.
But at one point he was like, well, you're a white woman here, so you do know you're bottom of the barrel.
That's wild.
Yes. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And what is that? So yeah, that is dating in Singapore, but now I don't really date at all because I don't have time. Have you
been asked or approached on the streets or anywhere else to go on a date recently?
Yeah.
And you've said no?
Yeah.
Because you just don't want to, or it's like you just know where it's going, or?
I think I give so much time. I have my daughter, I have a full-time job. I do stand up at every possible opportunity. I work out a lot. Something had to give in my life, and it's really been dating. Like I occasionally go on a date. But my thing is, if you invite me on a date and I get offered a spot at a show, I'm canceling the date.
You're such a comic.
That's the thing. Because honestly, I would rather have the attention of a room full of people than just one person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah. It's like, man, I can get laughs with 50 people compared to one. I'm going to take the 50 people.
Exactly.
That's way better.
It's way better. So yeah, honestly, that's kind of where I am with dating. But it's made my life so much better.
Why?
Because dating is a grind in Singapore. I mean, anywhere. Like, we joke about bottom of the barrel, but like, look, I'm nearly 40, single parent, divorced, white woman in Asia, comedian. Like, I'm
it like that.
Honestly like the least desirable human on the planet.
Okay, so what's your type? Let's say you're looking. What's your?
I mean, I like funny guys, obviously. I need someone that's mature enough to understand, that I'm a parent, and that is important to me. And I need them to live in a comedy club, mainly. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Be a gremlin under a bridge.
That's it. I preferably, if they worked for the comedy department in Netflix, that would be someone, just that, no big deal.
It's funny because I hear women saying this about every dating scene, everywhere. So where are the good dating scenes?
There's dating. I think dating just sucks. And you know what I realize? I have some much younger friends. I have friends that are between 19 and 23. I'm like the Leonardo DiCaprio of friends. And the problems they have are the same problems I'm having at 40, except they're actually much better equipped to deal with it. I think that generation's got their heads screwed on way better. You're not Gen Z, are you?
No.
You're a millennial.
Tail end of millennial.
Okay.
I think. Or in the middle or something.
Yeah. I just think dating sucks as a millennial. I think we are all deeply flawed. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think social media and dating apps ruined it heavily.
Yeah.
I think even though I never was at that age where I could do it traditionally, where it's like you just meet someone in person at a bar or fucking bookstore or whatever. I do think that's the best way. And I've had luck, way more luck. I've had no luck on dating apps ever. Okay. Not once.
Wow.
Not once. And that's why I stopped using dating apps 7-8 years ago, because I was like, I'm either getting matched with guys who are disguised as women or bots. And that's it. There was no other option for me. And so that's why I was like, fuck this. Oh, also, I was at a place where I'm not physically attractive. Mentally, I'm not even where I want to be. I'm doing nothing. I'm a slob. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I'll give you that. But after a while, I was like, well, I just know based off who I am and how I am, I'm way better in person. I'm not going to get a swipe off of first look. you're comparing me to fucking Chad, who's 6'3" and has abs, and he's a white guy, and he's tall, and he's he's got whatever, he just looks good or whatever it is. And I don't think I'm ugly or disgusting. It's just like I think, my personality will outweigh most guys on apps. And I think, and I think it actually has happened because I have no problem approaching women on the streets, not like in a fucking predatory way, but
whether they want to or not.
Yeah. I just wait in the corner for this lady to walk by, and I just pounce. Because I've had so much more luck. Literally just like seeing a girl like on the, fucking in front of a store or some shit, or inside, and like there's a lot of people around, and I'm like, I'll just go right up to her and be like, hey, excuse me, whatever it is. Like either, hey, I saw you from over there, I think you're really pretty, start talking to her, or hey, like I like your fucking pouch or the bag or you have, it's like matches your shirt, you know what I'm saying? And then like just very subtle things, and it always just gets me into the conversation. And then from there, I've gotten numbers, I've gotten Instagram, whatever, like, you know what I'm saying? Like those things are way more valuable than just like superficial, like fucking swiping, you know what I'm saying? So that's more so how I feel about it. But the problem is most guys aren't like me, who have no shame and a lot of confidence to just go and do that. Like most people I know don't do that, or they're not willing to try because they think like me, if I go up to this girl, like what is she gonna fucking like about me, right? There's all these other hot guys around. They want them. But I don't think that's true. Like deep down inside, they actually want a guy who's not fucking a wall and can hold a conversation and is funny, right? You know what I'm saying? Like I think that's already like, I should be like a permanent standard, like for every woman. So yeah, I don't know. I think that's pretty much how I see it. And I don't know if you agree to what I just said.
Oh, but you could win me over like that 1,000%, like so much. I hate the dating apps. Yeah. I hate them. But yeah, I mean, that would work for me. That is something that would work for me if someone came up to me and was, great personality, confident, and you're a very good looking guy, Neema.
Thank
also.
you.
So,
yeah,
that too. Like I would love that. I really would. So, I'd say that, and then if anyone ever comes up to me and to talk to me, I'm like,
you're like,
what do you want?
Well, the thing is though, it is also tough to. It's easy to say like, yeah, you would love that, but also I think because there are bad examples of men who are obviously like fucking are just like sexual harassment, or they're creepy, or like they fucking approach in weird ways. Like it ruins it for guys like me who like, I'm not like that at all. I think I'm very good at approaching. It's just they're so conditioned. A lot of women are conditioned to be like closed off, and like no, like because they think I'm gonna be like that.
1,000%.
That's the biggest challenge. But I think aside from that, I think most women are like you, who would rather appreciate that.
Oh, absolutely, for sure. I think it's fantastic. We need more of that in Singapore.
Yeah. So there you go. Well, Singapore, everywhere,
fucking
everywhere.
I'm like, we need men to follow women around and talk to them.
Please, if you're watching this and you're a man, just follow women everywhere. All right,
Yes.
you heard it here first.
What I want to know is what will work for British women in London.
Oh,
True.
Specifically,
I mean, the accent. You guys already have the accent, so you're halfway there. I mean, that's a big thing.
Canadian accent, you mean?
Well, Canadian, American,
Different,
anything.
you're saying,
different accent for sure. Yeah, and this is a real thing. You guys sound like the TV hunks that we grew up with. So it's a massive win.
Yeah.
You do. You guys, honestly, you're.
A lot of things. Not been one.
You're very handsome, both of you.
Maybe I'll accept that. Yeah.
Okay.
It sounds like we're fishing for compliments, but I swear it's not that.
Do more.
But you know what it is, though? Like, joking aside, a lot of men don't get compliments.
Okay.
So in a way, we do appreciate it if women were to compliment. But then the thing is, once again, it's on us, because if women compliment you, then they think like, oh fuck, now she's down to fuck, and then like they just get like predatorial about it, and so that's also the issue. That's why I feel like a lot of women maybe don't do that. But I think there's a lot of women who would want to do it and they think about doing it, but they're just like they're better safe to not do it.
So 2 reasons. So first of all, if it's a platonic thing, then yes, you wouldn't want to give the wrong impression. And then the other side of that would be if it's someone you like. As a woman, I would say it's hard to give a compliment because, you know, we get rejected. You know, women don't like rejection. No. So what if I tell someone that I like them and they're really handsome and they're just like, you know, okay.
Yeah. How do you think fucking men feel?
Well, yeah, I was having this. I know that this is this is a universal experience.
Yeah,
I think it's not just a woman thing.
No, 100%. Yeah. I mean, yeah. It is easier for women to, because I feel like more women can get pretty much any man they want, but you can't say the same vice versa.
I think that's fair. Yeah, that's fair. I think that's fair.
Like there are some like guys who are like pretty much any woman they'll be down for them, not nearly as much as like most women.
Agree.
So, but once again, it's not black and white. It's nuanced, right? And
I think women have different criteria, different standards as well, dare I say. Like, it wouldn't be enough for me for a guy to just be really handsome. I wouldn't be like, yeah, I'm going to go home with him because he is hot. It means nothing. No, it doesn't mean nothing, but you know, that
unless
on
you're
its
20.
Own, yeah, maybe. Whereas, I don't know, for men, maybe aesthetics, yeah, you would, if someone was super hot, their personality would probably bother you less if it was just a one night stand, dare I say.
For a hookup, yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter. I don't know, you could be completely mute. I'd be thrilled. Yeah, you could make weird alien noises. If you're a rocket, you're a 10 out of 10. It's over. Like I'm fucking all in.
You're in. That's it.
I don't care. You could literally just like do that, the weird noises, but you're hot. I'm a guy.
Okay, hold on, dude. We're getting off topic. She was telling us about London girls. That's what I'm interested.
Oh,
in.
London girls. I don't know if I'm qualified to speak for all.
I mean, you're from
London
there.
girls. I honestly think just being, the same thing you said, like not creepy, but you know, approaching someone, complimenting them for sure. As I say, the accent will take you.
Do you think me just having straight teeth is already?
I think, yeah, if you have a dentist, I think that's, you know, the good smile though. You guys all do have good smiles from your side of the world. We don't have dentists in the UK.
True.
So we've just got the one, but the line is really long to see him. It's
like
the DMV in the States. You have to wait fucking 7 days just to get your license.
Take a ticket and you just sit with your mouth open until.
So my thing is, I've always pictured myself with specifically a girl from the UK.
Interesting.
Just purely based off the accent. There's no logic to what I'm saying. I just, for whatever reason, it's like I just like that.
Sim's shooting his shot, by the way.
Should we get married? Do you want to propose to me at a Taylor Swift concert at all?
Now you have my attention. Before you didn't, but now you have my attention.
Yes. That is what I'm in the market for.
But you live in Singapore. This is not going to work.
Oh, so. I'm sorry. Yeah,
damn.
I do live in Singapore, so.
Technically, you're Asian now, so.
I am not Asian enough to get a date, though. So.
I would take you on a date.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Is this not a date? Is that not what this is?
This is actually an ambush date.
I thought this was a date. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is the whole. It's not even rolling, this podcast. It's just I just needed him here to moderate, some certain questions. So.
You do this on all your dates. You bring him with.
He's over there in the back.
Well, it's a very beautiful setting for a date.
It is, right? I even put a clean towel for you before this.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
That's best date ever.
I clean the toilets. There's no bar of soap, but there is liquid soap.
The liquid soap is. We want liquid soap. Yeah, no, we want liquid soap.
Not bar of soap.
Not bar of soap.
Oh, thank God. I hate bars of soap.
No, gross. Everybody's dirt still on it.
Exactly how I feel about that.
No.
Thank you.
No.
Liquid soap is way better.
I'm so glad we're really hitting the important topics here. This is what I came for.
Have you obviously you were married for a while, but when you were dating earlier before you even met your ex-husband at the time, how different has dating been since then till now?
Do you know, I really didn't do it.
Oh, you didn't?
So no, because I was one of these people that had a boyfriend since I was 9 years old.
Oh, okay.
I would finish that relationship, get into another one up until honestly 2022. So I don't really have, obviously we didn't have the dating apps and things like that. I we didn't have hookup culture in the same way, I guess. No mobile phones.
True.
No booty calls, because you'd have had to call my mum and talk to her on the home phone if you tried to booty call me. So,
Oi, Nan.
honestly, yeah.
Oi, Nan, you mind if I shag your daughter? You mind if I shag her?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that would have been...
That'd be weird.
She probably wouldn't have passed that message on, I
No.
don't think. No.
Hey, Sash,
yeah, so-
there's this fucking bloke
Yeah.
who's trying to shag you.
Yes, it's
You're
2 a.m. He's woken me up. Yeah.
My
Yeah.
teeth are out.
He says, "Hey, you up?" Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't really have a good perspective on it, because I really started to properly date in really 2019, and then even then had boyfriends through till 2022. So.
And so, what would you say is your like? What do you think is like the ideal way for a man to treat a woman on a date?
Oh, this is a good one. Just listen and take in what they're saying and be respectful, for sure. I know this is it's probably a rubbish answer, but in a way, I think if the chemistry's there, it isn't really about what you do. It's just the chemistry's there or the chemistry isn't there. I think with me, sometimes people think they have to be really funny.
Right.
They get maybe nervous. I don't know if you have this experience with women. If they do the same thing, they know you're a comedian, they think they either think they're going to get a stand-up set, or they think they have to give one to impress you.
Well, no, I don't think so. They know like the standard of where I'm at, and like they don't even try, because
Okay.
they're like, well, he's obviously, this is his main,
Yeah.
his actual profession. It's not like just like a funny guy.
Yeah.
But no, but naturally, I attract the women who do have a great sense of humor, and they're already funny in their own way anyway. So it's like, it's never like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for me, I know that men do feel they have to.
Really?
I've
You
had
think so?
people say it to me all the time. Yeah. Like, oh, you know, I need to say something funny. Oh, I feel nervous because I'm not as funny as you. I'm like, correct, you're not. You should be nervous.
That kills it though.
Yeah, it does kill it. I just think be yourself. I mean, really be, because if it goes on to be something more and you haven't been yourself on the first date, it's going to be exhausting.
And how do
So-
and what about like, you know, in terms of, you know, being a gentleman or fucking whatever, like the bill and all those things.
Pay
like, what
the
do you-
bill if you can. And this is an interesting one for me, because I have a day job and it's well paid. So I'm in a really comfortable position, and I always will offer. But it's such a lovely thing to have the bill paid. It's a little taste of like just gentlemanliness. And I feel like I'm not supposed to say it, but it's true. It's nice.
No, I agree. I'm on board with that. Like I said, like I feel like I am more traditional that way, where it's like if I'm asking you out, then the onus should be on me.
Yeah.
To figure everything out too. Plan the thing, you know, tell them where it is, pick them up, or if you can, you know.
Yes.
I like doing romantic shit, like holding the door.
This is what I was going to say. Hold the
know what
door,
I'm saying?
pull the chair out.
Yeah.
If you plan the date, that's such a win. Oh my God.
And I feel like the bar is so low because a lot of guys apparently don't do this. And I'm like, well, then what the fuck are these guys doing?
I mean, most guys aren't even texting back. So,
Right, yeah.
you know,
Which is a shame, yeah.
but honestly, it's just that stuff. And I think like for women, we carry a lot of mental load. So to have a man plan something and to do the thinking for you, that to me, that's like my love language. Like if somebody can take the lead, and yeah, and it's hard for me to relinquish that control sometimes, but I love it when someone does.
A woman who doesn't like that. But
Yeah.
it makes sense.
Yeah, we have a lot going on all the time, and you know, my contribution was to put a full face of makeup on and probably a very uncomfortable bra, and therefore
Right.
you can you can plan the date.
I heard this recently. I haven't had a chance to even share this. It's an interesting part of the conversation. I heard the other day from a sex psychologist that a woman can't even get to an orgasm unless her mind is free of clutter, so to speak. There's so much going on. She's like never even gonna get there.
No, I agree with that. It's completely true.
Like she literally goes on to say, like, if you're like, I think this was in a marriage context, but I'm assuming it applies in other places too. She's like, if you're married, you take, make sure the dishes are whatever, the errands are done, the kids are asleep, like all of these things. And then she'll happily achieve that.
Absolutely.
It's absolutely right.
Oh, it's so true. And there's always so much going on, so much to think about. And if your mind wanders, then it's like game over, not in a good way.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
completely.
You want to feel as safe as possible.
Relaxed. Want to feel relaxed. Yeah. I mean, there's science in that, of course, definitely.
Yeah, because I know I've heard also that a lot of women, they're always on edge, or they're always like almost like looking over their shoulder, because it's like, you know, dealing with weird men, obviously, in everyday situations, right? Like the male gaze, all these things, right? Like people just, you know, you never know what's going to come at you, right? As a woman too. And so that when there is a guy who's like dealing with all these problems beforehand and during this date, I feel like nothing beats that. Right?
Absolutely. Just to be able to be just relaxed and not irresponsible, but not having the responsibility for everything and figuring everything out. I mean, it's one of the things that I love most about being single, is that at least I only have to think about me and my daughter. You know, I'm not having to think about what a man needs, because there are men like that. And, you know, what they're going to have for dinner it becomes your problem. And, you know, what time you leave the house becomes your problem, and all of this. And
it's too much.
It's too much.
Well,
I'm
it's also
tired.
yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. I feel like, so you agree that, you know, most women would thrive if they were happily able to enter into their feminine energy more.
1,000%. And it is really like, it's a contradictory one. Again, especially for someone like me, you know, very independent, single parent, etc. You know, good job. But secretly, I want to be allowed to be. I want to be allowed to be just a girl for a bit, you know, like just in the feminine energy, exactly as you say, and to relinquish all of that worry and all that responsibility, even if it's just for an evening.
Wow. It's the bar is so low.
The bar is so low. Just literally honestly choose where we're going for dinner. That's it.
It's so wild, right? It's such a simple concept, but I saw this video yesterday. This girl posted like a screen recording of a voice note between this guy she was supposed to go on a date with, and the voice note that this guy sent was literally like, I'm just trying to remember off the top of my head, but he was like, okay, so yeah, like let's like go out sometime, I guess, you know, like I don't know, I guess you pick a place, whatever you want to go, like, I don't know, just, you're probably gonna pick some fucking hotel he named like a hotel that's like expensive. And he's like, yeah, it's probably gonna get expensive bottle of wine and expensive meal, whatever you want, I guess. Like he was just like so bitter about it. I'm like, how is this gonna work, bro?
Honestly,
like, it's like, how do you not see that this is not gonna work?
It's
so obvious.
It is, but as you say, the bar is so low, and that it's slim pickings. So women may be like, oh, all right, well, at least he sent me a voice note. Right,
insane, right?
Yeah, honestly. Yeah. So I think that's
terrible.
Don't do that ever.
Obviously,
guys, don't do that.
It's so weird because like I learned that like a long time ago. Just like instead of asking, just do it, right?
Absolutely, and you know, whether that is a date, you know, or if you're in a relationship or you're married, that should follow. And then, you know, I think everybody will be much happier.
100%. Both sides will be more satisfied.
Oh my God.
Because the more we can provide that safety and trust for you, then you're going to get that proper feminine energy back to make you feel like you've earned something. And like, I feel like men need that.
Oh, absolutely.
That feeling of like accomplishment and you know, like they're like providing for their family or whatever it is, like the girl or the date. And the vibes will be so much better, you know?
It will. And probably like the generation now, maybe the millennials, we've been through this whole like real feminist, strong, independent woman, 80s shoulder pads kind of life. Not the 80s for you, but you know,
I don't know anything about the 80s.
Nothing. It was a dark time. There were dinosaurs. It was the whole thing. Just shoulder pads and dinosaurs.
Right. Yeah.
But you know, so we went through this like independent woman movement, and now I think women need to be told you are actually allowed to take a step back and be feminine and be looked after, and that is okay. That's not, you haven't lost anything. You're not lesser for it. It's actually okay because biologically, probably that's how it's supposed to work.
Yeah. So then my next question is, then how do you feel about like girl boss, independent boss shit? Like, Do you really think that there are women who are like genuinely enjoy fucking hustle and bustle of the grind, like you know, waking up early, going to the gym, doing this, then going to work for 8 hours, coming, buying all the groceries, cooking for them, you know what I'm saying? Like just thinking about all these things. It's like, I don't think most women actually care or want to do that.
It's such an interesting one because that is me. That is my life.
Okay.
That is literally my life. And I've always been like that. I've been like that since I was a kid. I remember being 21 and my stepdad saying to me, like, you know, it's okay not to pay on a date, because that's how much I've been like that forever. And I can be a bit, maybe not alpha, but, you know, that's very ingrained in me. But as I get older and I'm tired and I'm like, you know, jaded by life a little bit, obviously comedy aside, God, yeah, it would be so nice just to have someone else just take the load a little bit. Absolutely. And it's taken me a long time to be able to admit that, because the girl boss is 1,000% my identity.
Wow.
And always had been.
I mean, I admire the transparency and the honesty.
Yes.
Well, at least you're like, you know, you have self-awareness enough to realize that. And so have you talked about these things with your daughter?
Well, I mean,
her?
she's probably a bit too young right now. If anything that she gets from me, she gets the girl boss side right now.
Right, because that's what she sees.
That's what she sees. And that's, you know, if I have to choose a path, I remember my mum saying to me when I was younger, marry rich, Sasha. And I was mortally offended. Real conversation her and I had. She went, marry rich. And my mum's amazing, by the way. She's awesome. You know, we have a British lot of light-hearted jokes. She's like, marry rich, and then, you know, worst case you divorce them, you get half the money. And I said, or I can be rich and then I don't have to divorce anyone, and then it's my money. And I was so proud of that. But I do know as I get older, and I'm like, I can see now why she said marry rich. Maybe I should have done.
Yeah.
Maybe if not my second husband, maybe my third or fourth will be rich. I'm hoping.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'll help you find it if I know someone.
Please
send them your way.
Please send me just a really rich, really, really like bazillionaire.
Yeah. Someone with a yacht in Miami.
I would love that. Yeah. Do you know what? I've never dated anyone like that in real life. I never have. I've always dated
poorer than you?
Am
More
I
broke
allowed
than you?
Yeah, I've always dated men that don't have as much money as I have. I grew up poor though, incidentally. I should add that, just in case you have the middle class white lady impression. I grew up poor. But since I started working, I mean, I earned many multiples what my ex-husband earned. So
wow. That's a
yes.
flex.
It is a flex. It has always been a flex, but it's an exhausting flex.
I bet.
Yeah.
Now you're like, can you I just want to lie down, like get a massage from my husband.
100%.
I don't want to work.
100%. It'd be so nice. It would be so nice.
Just massage my feet when I don't ask, and you just do it because you just out of your genuine heart you want to do it.
That's it. And like genuinely, like small gestures mean so much to me. Like if someone gets up to get themselves a cup of coffee and's like, I'll grab you a coffee while I'm going into the kitchen, even something like that for someone like me is like such a
thanks for turning down my coffee offer.
Well, you offered
earlier.
a coffee. You offered me a coffee. That was enough.
Yeah, but you didn't take my coffee offer.
I didn't take it. I
guess I'm a beta male.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. I've crushed your spirit. That's
thank
what
you so much.
That's what I'm trying to say by this is remember when I turned down that coffee.
Yeah.
Try harder.
Yeah, that's why I never get swipes on dating apps because of this reason. Yeah.
Because literally the coffee thing.
Yep.
Yeah. It's your burden, I guess.
It sucks. It really sucks.
Yeah.
Big me, hi, I'm the problem. It's
toxic,
me.
We would call that. Toxic. Red flag.
Red flag.
Red flag.
Huge red flag.
Offered me a coffee and I didn't want a coffee. Oh my God. Red flag.
How does he not know that I don't drink coffee?
Oh my God.
That's a red flag.
Red flag. And I'm going to tell all my friends.
Yeah.
I've already told them.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
Red flag.
That's me waving my red flag.
Yeah. Problematic.
Yeah. So in terms of, partners or relationships, what would you want out of your next partner? Ideally.
So they need to understand that my daughter and comedy come first.
Priorities.
My priorities. They have to be able to roll with the punches of that. I want someone who adds to my life. I'm not looking like my life's already amazing. So to have a partner, they'd have to really bring extra fun and extra happiness. Like I'm very, very much about just enjoying life. So I need someone that's, but also probably somebody that doesn't let me go too crazy. I mean, I'm not super crazy, but I can party and have a lot of fun and be all over the place and not sleep enough. So sometimes a sensible influence is probably not a bad thing for me. But what's really interesting is that I have changed so much in the last 2 years, and I've been single for those 2 years, that I actually don't know how to answer that question. I have no idea what I'm like in a relationship as this person, this Sasha Frank version of me. No idea what I'm like, no idea what I want, no idea what a relationship would look like.
Interesting.
Surprise! Yeah, let's find out.
Yeah. What's like something that you're actively trying to work on to better your own self?
Sleep more. Really, I'm trying to cut out the extra stuff that I don't need in my life. So whether that's people, and that's not to say that the people I don't spend time with because I don't like them or anything like that. But, you know, my resources are limited. So I used to spread myself so thin and make sure I had time for absolutely everyone, never say no to anything. Now I'm like, okay, what do I really want to be able to spend my time doing? And that's my big development thing for 2024 is not being extra all the time, you know, actually thinking about limiting, you know, what I do and how I spend my time. What about you?
That's nice. What about me? Honestly, just my health, my fitness, and just just a daily work on how I view like my perspective on food, and because I've battled this food addiction my entire life, right? I was always overweight, the chubby kid, obese, you know, all these things, and so for me the challenge is to see food in a different way, because you know. The problem of having a food addiction is that you have to eat every day.
Yes.
Like it's not like fucking drugs where it's like I don't need to do heroin every day.
Yeah.
Maybe just Saturdays and Friday nights maybe. But yeah, so that's the biggest thing I'm still actively trying to battle. It's not really a battle as much anymore, but I just know it needs way more time than you think, because even though you think you're okay, sometimes it's good to just keep going and until you get to a point where it's like, oh shit, like I've done years of work. There's no way I'm going to spiral back at this point. So it's more so a lot of that for sure. And I think the main important thing here is to just have an open growth mindset about it, and to not, you know, to acknowledge the fact that if there is fuck ups or slip ups, that's not gonna you know, necessarily identify you as like your past self or anything like that.
For
so
sure.
just to keep going, and you know, like life, you're never gonna be perfect, and life is unpredictable. So it's like as long as you're every day you're conscious of it, I think you're setting yourself up for optimal success.
I love
more
that.
than anything.
And
So
you're crushing it. So it's
appreciate
amazing.
that. No, I
great.
doing my best out here. You know, just trying to find my ride or die boo. You
Your
know,
boo.
who will lift me up.
What are you looking for?
In a relationship? It's funny because we did a Q&A on my stories about this, and there's a whole list that like he wrote for me, but like it's everything we talk about all the time, so he knows what I like. But it's someone who has a growth mindset and not a fixed mindset. I don't know if you've heard of this concept before. Have you?
I mean, yeah, I have heard it very much in the corporate setting though.
In the corporate setting? What do you mean?
Like we talk about, you know, growth mindset in
Oh, really?
Yeah, in my day job, and
Oh, interesting.
you know, when it comes to career and things like
Okay.
that. So
Yeah. So pretty much it's about like, you know, if something bad happens, you don't like jump the gun and like jump to conclusions right away and then like completely like X something out just because it was like a mistake or some shit. As opposed to like if something bad happens, you acknowledge it, you see it as what it is, and then you see how you can get past it. It's more so kind of like that. Someone who can understand that there's an issue at hand and how to handle it properly.
Okay.
You know, like how to communicate better, right? Someone who can communicate effectively is very important, because I think I take pride in that, and being as transparent as possible, stating your intentions, you know, early on, and then also someone who is really in their feminine energy, like who is allowing herself to almost sit back sometimes and let me handle like the masculine part. And vice versa. It's like I want you to be like more of the carer and the nurturer.
Yeah.
Which is it's more natural to you. and whether or not we have kids, and yeah, just someone who like also has a passion project or wants to do something that's like a passion to her and is creative, like maybe run your own business or like a entrepreneurial thing, and also takes care of their health, like eating wise, like food wise, doesn't eat out, doesn't drink, because that's the stuff I don't do.
You don't drink at all?
No. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Like, at least not anymore. Like, I have in the past, but it's just something that's not a part of my life anymore.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a lot of those things pretty much all together. And yeah, you have to be shorter than me, obviously, because I feel like a midget. If someone's like even like close to my height, I'm like, why am I so short? So I need a shorter girl.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'11" and a half.
Oh, that's a giant to me.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're like, what, 5'4" maybe?
I am 5 foot.
What,
on
really?
a tall day.
Oh,
yes.
shit, all right, okay.
I am this big.
Yeah. See, like something like that is like a perfect height for me, like 5 to like 5'3".
Yeah.
Because like I don't know. I just prefer it. It's something. It's just a preference, but because if you want to wear heels, then like you gotta account for that.
Yes.
Right? I don't want you higher than here.
Oh my god. I don't have that problem with men ever.
Yeah.
Because
That's what I'm saying. You're fine.
yeah.
Like if you're higher than my sternum, you're out.
That's
Can't be past the xiphoid process.
Oh, that is. This is
that
the.
little, like,
okay, that's very very niche.
very niche. Yeah, that's my number one thing on a date. Hey, if you pass my xiphoid process, it's not gonna work.
Do you do like before you go into the restaurant, you have them? Just measure, stand.
Yeah. It's like meet them in person, hug. Hey, by the way,
Yeah.
can you just stand right here? I just
Yeah.
wanna see something for.
Just take a tape measure out and just like. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
You're hitting xiphoid process, so unfortunately, it's just not gonna work.
Yeah. Lovely to meet you.
Yeah, lovely to meet you. Get out of here.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much how it is for me. But because here's the thing: a lot of women care about height, but
Yes.
How do you feel about if men were like, okay, well then, we what if we care about weight? Like,
We're
how do
all
you feel about it?
superficial, right?
Yeah.
Everyone is anyone that says they're not superficial is lying
cap.
to you. It's rubbish.
Yeah.
We're all superficial.
Rubbish.
It's nonsense. I mean, we should all care about all that stuff. That is biology, and how it's been since the beginning of time. I would be surprised if a man said they really, really didn't care. Now, however, I think what women get wrong is that we think men want us to be super skinny, and that is not the case. That is what I have learned in the last few years, which was very liberating. But, you be superficial. Get what, you have to sleep with this person. You should be attracted to them.
100%. Like,
Yeah.
You also want to be able to enjoy seeing this person naked.
Exactly. Absolutely. You don't want to close your eyes or switch the lights off, right?
Or think about someone else.
Think about someone else, yeah. But yeah, no, I think that is how it should be. That literally is the thing. We date people we're attracted to. The people, you hear these stories where they were like, oh, I wasn't attracted initially, but I saw past it and they've got a great personality. I'm always a bit skeptical.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
Yeah.
Something's up.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. Are we terrible people for thinking that?
Yeah.
We are. Good.
Yep.
All
Just
of us.
the worst.
Excellent.
All of us are terrible.
Terrible and superficial.
Superficial. Yeah.
Okay.
Just
fair.
the worst person. Yeah.
I am. I'll take it.
Well, I'll take it every day of the week.
Every day. Okay. Carry on.
Carry on.
We've established we're awful people.
Yeah, we've established we're terrible. So in terms of like comedy wise, what's your like next goals that you want to do and accomplish in the next like 4 or 5 years?
Oh, so I'm so lucky in Singapore because Singapore's like this microcosm where you get really good opportunities really quick. So I've hit a lot of, not everything, but I'm really lucky. I host Asia's Asia's most famous comedy show, which is amazing. Like this time last year, I'd never even stepped foot in that comedy club or the bar where they run the thing. And now I host the show. So I've already hit a lot of the milestones I never imagined I would. I'm quite a one day at a time person. I'm actually not a big forward planner because my life has already exceeded stuff I ever imagined would be able to do. So it's a terrible answer, but I don't know. I mean, would I love to do the Netflix thing? Of course. Would I love to give up my corporate job and do comedy full time? Of course. But right now it's just getting through this festival, selling tickets, getting back, doing a good job of all the shows I do there. I'm going to be at the Edinburgh Fringe this year.
Nice.
And again, just doing a really good job. My perspective has changed on comedy. I don't know if you had this when you've done it much longer than me. When I first started out, I was like, I am so good at this. I'm ready to do a special. I should get all the opportunities in all the world. And then you ride that for and then you'd have a massive reality check. And no, I'm at the beginning of this journey. I have so much more to do. I'm barely out of being an open micer, really. So, I'm trying to that's the phase I'm at of comedy right now, where I'm I've been very humbled, where I'm I have great opportunities in Singapore. I've been so lucky and I love comedy, but I'm at the beginning of this journey. I was trying to run before I could walk, and now I'm going back and starting again and taking a breath.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. It's so true. You realize quickly, you get humbled. You're like, oh shit, maybe I'm not where I'm at, or
100%.
Yeah. It's because you're excited at first, and you're like, oh man, especially if you crush or you do well, for the first time, you're like, oh, this is easy. But then you slowly find out, oh no, it was just maybe luck, or it's it was maybe I just saw it. You think of it differently in the moment. You don't realize it's actually not as good as you think it was. But you have to have that self-awareness as a comedian, otherwise you're not going to get good.
1,000%.
You have to realize those things early on. So it's good that you realize that, because same thing for me. When I was in my first 3, 4, 5 years, whatever, there was times where the first time I smashed on stage was maybe 3, 4 years in, to be honest.
Wow.
Yeah, it took a while. But then that first time I did, and the second time and the third time, I was like, oh, okay, I'm getting there. But then 4 months later, I'm like, oh fuck, I'm still not even close to where I want to be. But then every time you keep thinking that, you're leveling up. And even now, to this point now, there's shows where I'll I'll crush it, but then I'm I watch it back sometimes, or I think about it again when I'm not in that mode on stage, and I'm like, oh wait, actually it wasn't as good as I thought it would be.
Oh yes, for sure.
But that's the only way you're gonna get better, right? That's the only way you're gonna grow. So yeah, it's definitely important to think that way and have that that love and excitement for it.
Yes.
And you just got to keep going, keep trying new things. What's your favorite place to perform?
Oh, geographically, or?
Yeah.
Austin, probably Austin.
You perform there?
Oh yeah,
oh, yeah? I haven't
love
been
Austin.
there. Is it good?
You have to go. It's the comedy central of the whole world.
Well, eventually we're trying to move there, so.
Oh, are you? I have another best friend lives in Austin, and oh my God. Yeah, Austin to me is, what was so cool was I went to Austin last year in May. I did just some open mic type shows, and then when I went back in October, they remembered me, and I was just this is crazy, They were like, put this woman on the show, she can have whatever spot she wants. And I was called my mum. I'm like, Mum, I think people know me in Austin. This is so weird. Yeah. But yeah, amazing place.
That's amazing.
So,
and you're thinking you would move there eventually?
Oh, I would love to. I would love to live in Austin. Yes,
nice.
Absolutely. The Australian crowds are tough, I think.
Yeah.
I like performing here, but Australian crowds are tough.
Definitely. I talk about this all the time now. It's definitely one of the toughest crowds I've been in front of, because they're the most woke, the most reserved, very progressive here. And if you're not nearly progressive, they won't even give you anything. And plus, I found out that Australians have this ego about them as a culture that they're not easily impressed.
Yes.
And they say that proudly. And I'm like, well, this doesn't really help for comedy shows. So I'm like, I don't know, are you here to laugh or no?
Yes.
And I feel most of the times they're not. And I'm not just saying it for me. I've seen other comedians who are really funny, and I'm like, this would kill back home.
Yeah.
But then they're doing their set in front of these people. I'm watching the audience, and they're all just
interesting. So what's interesting about Singapore, and I hope you come to Singapore and perform, is they are traditionally a quiet crowd. They're not
they're Asian,
big.
And they don't want to disturb the peace.
Right. And, very respectful, and you're not going to get big laughs and
Pops,
things like that. And I know that sometimes comics take that badly, but it's actually not, because I MC this show, I watch the audience, I see everyone laughing, and then I see comics oh God, no one was laughing. Everyone was laughing. You just, you're expecting an American loud audience, and you're not going to get that in Singapore.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's a good take, because I've come from Canada and I performed in the US too, so I've seen how it could be. and it also depends on there are people out here who still love your sense of humor, right? You just have to find them.
Yeah.
Because the show I did in Sydney last week, a few days ago, that was my own show. I was headlining it. Was like night and day compared to any other set I've ever done in Australia. Over the past 3 months, I've done over hundreds of sets in the past 3 months, and this one show I did already like outdoes every single one of them. Like
that were your
easily.
followers, right? They were
Yeah, it was my own audience.
Amazing,
right?
Yeah.
And so that's why I feel like there's some power to that, because now I know, well, okay, for sure, like obviously my stuff is funny. It's just it needs to hit the right people. And unfortunately, I think a lot of the audiences in Australia, there are a lot of like, I don't know what it is, but it's like a lot of white people who just they're not even active comedy goers.
Okay.
Because there's not much of a culture in comedy in Australia in general.
Okay.
I found UK is much better, I think, and obviously Canada and US. But it's like also it's weird here in Melbourne because it's so diverse, but you don't see any diversity in the shows.
Interesting.
It's like it's literally all white people.
Yeah.
And it's like there's nothing wrong with that. It's just like for me specifically, I think because my humor is like racial and cultural.
Yes.
Maybe they just don't get it. So it's like it's fair. I'll grant that, but it's like I feel like if there were more diverse crowds, then maybe I'd have a better experience on stage in Australia.
That makes complete sense.
But yeah, but at the same time, it's like I can't even bank on that. I still have to like be funny, right? Because funny is funny. So anyway, either way, I think it's a good thing because it's a challenge and it'll make you tougher as a comic. You'll get a thicker skin, and then when you do get those good shows, like the good audiences who really want to laugh, then you'll fucking crush more than ever. So
for sure,
I think it's all net positive.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. But
absolutely. I bet you do so well in the UK.
I've never performed.
You
in the
haven't
UK.
performed?
No,
oh my God.
I know.
Oh my God, you have to.
I know I will. We're doing 2 shows in London for my tour next year.
Okay.
We haven't announced them yet, but yeah, it's gonna be 2. They're gonna be really fun shows, I think. Because yeah, London's very similar to Toronto, like in terms of like the culture.
Yes.
And so like they would obviously get my humor a lot, and
yeah,
it's also very diverse,
very
right?
multicultural,
right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty excited. But what's your experience been in the UK for comedy?
Oh, I love performing in the UK. Do you know what's great about performing in the UK is when you sit and watch the other acts. UK comedy is so incredible.
It is.
And it's really different. I'm learning that, as I hang out with comics from all over the world and we talk about jokes and things like that. British comedy is very unique. And, I watch people crush who are writing jokes very different from how I would write them. Or necessarily even want to hear them, and that teaches me so much about like, oh, okay, this very British way that I'm used to is actually not universal. It isn't, and it doesn't need to be, because British comedy can be a little bit
sarcastic. It's
It's a little bit the jokes are all kind of, we overthink a lot, or I certainly do when I write, and it doesn't always need to be that. Sometimes it can just be funny.
Yeah, I agree.
So, but British humor is so unique and so fantastic.
It is. I love British humor.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite?
I used to watch the In-Betweeners.
That is quintessential.
One of my favorite series movie too. The movie's great.
You know what I realized this morning? So my favorite comedian in the whole world is Sasha Baron Cohen.
Oh man, well, he's a fucking legend. Yeah.
I was thinking about coming here, and I was like, that is why I'm such a fan of yours, because that is very similar to what you do.
Exactly, the
and
characters
like,
and shit.
Yeah, because of course I've been following you for so long. Like that. Yeah, I realized that. I was like, literally, you are that.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. I definitely like to model myself after guys like that for sure, because like look at what he's done.
Yeah,
and it's like it's very unique. No one's really doing what he's doing.
No,
and that's what I want to do eventually is like to do movies as characters. I think it's very possible.
You would be amazing.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, it's definitely a dream of mine. So, but anyway, like in terms of like the British humor though, like In-Betweeners was one of my favorite shows. I love. That's where I learned a lot about like UK humor and stuff like that. And then also, I don't know if do you know Chris Lilly?
I don't know.
He's an Aussie comedian, and Summer Heights High.
Okay.
It was like a classic show back even when I was a kid,
right?
And that was very Aussie, but like it's like UK people loved it too, I think. But that like it's very like British type humor, fucking Little Britain.
Okay,
I used to watch that too.
No way.
Yeah, like it was so weird. I don't know why this fucking young Persian kid in Canada was watching Little Britain, but I used to watch that stuff because one of my best friends back home, he's half Brit. Like his family, his mom, like unfortunately, like she passed away when we were kids, but his mom and like her family, they're from Bristol.
Okay.
Yeah, and so like it was very like the small town like UK, you know what I'm saying? Like very like cheeky like British humor.
Yeah.
And so that's where I think I got a lot of that from. And yeah, so I think I'd really love the UK, and you know, like I love UK shows and like stuff like that. I love watching UK random fucking late night shows and clips. I think it's so funny. I think UK people are some of the funniest people, to be honest. Like they have that, it's like in them.
No, we have. Well, I mean, so this is what I always say about myself is like I'm not the funniest person even in my family. My family's hilarious. I'm just the one that does stand up.
Right,
like
exactly.
in the UK, just everyone's pretty funny. Yeah.
No, that's great. I mean, I must have been like fun growing up there then, because I feel like everyone's just a fucking character. Everyone talks shit, right? Everyone's very like. I feel like you get roasted a lot in the UK too. People are like very kind of like.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't think you really realize it until you step away. Right. You know, I look at how me and my sisters talk to each other. We just roast each other all the time. I mean, that to me is I have this comparison that I make in a joke about how having male friends is the thing that makes me feel like I'm back with my sisters, because those are the people that will roast you and like put you down, and you know that's how we talk. That's our love language. That's how we talk to each other. We
need a little getting put down to feel like your true self.
Absolutely. And like, you know, I live in this world where I live overseas. I have female friends. And as I say, we're all like, oh my God, you're amazing. You're so fantastic. I got back to the UK last Christmas and I wore what I thought was a very nice, very expensive outfit. And 3 different people, close friends from my childhood and my sisters went, what the hell are you wearing? They was like, that outfit is terrible. Throw that away. And I was like, I've missed this.
I needed this.
I needed to be, or like, you're doing jokes. That's like well embarrassing.
Right. Yeah. It's like, oh, please give me more.
Yeah. Honestly, like my sisters, if anyone follows me on Instagram, I'm always posting what my sisters are, the banter from my sisters, where I'll post a picture of myself and they're like, you're super embarrassing. You're super cringe. That's Get amazing. Off the internet. Yeah.
Wow. What beautiful
it's love
connection, you know?
That's love.
That's love. That's real love right there.
Yes.
Yeah. What's are you into like British type like music? What kind of music are you into in that world?
I mean, I like the Beatles. I've got very middle of the road taste in music. I'm a massive Eminem fan, actually. That's if I had to choose, I'm a huge Eminem fan. I know that's not remotely British.
Yeah. So British.
British.
Detroit, England, yeah.
Yes. Our very British Eminem.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he I think he's a genius. But British music, I mean, the Beatles, we've like this a band called The Streets. I don't know if you've heard of them. Fantastic. So yeah, nothing especially really.
Like what about UK drill, like stuff like that? Are you?
I love UK garage music.
Yeah,
garage music is what I grew up with. I mean, I don't hear a lot of what's coming out now.
True.
But you know, like Stormzy, that kind of thing. I love that.
Sick.
I absolutely love it, but I don't hear a lot of it. Of course, I live in Asia. You know, I don't get to hear it a lot.
I feel like it doesn't really reach anywhere else in the world, unfortunately.
It doesn't, and I love to play it to my friends for overseas to like get them into
Central
it.
C is one of my favorite artists.
Oh, I love just all of it is incredible.
Yeah, that's great. I guess one thing I want to ask is if you knew something that you knew now when you're at 20 that you could pass on to someone else, what would that be?
Oh my God.
That would be very valuable.
Time passes and things change. So when you are going through something bad, whether it is a short-term thing like a breakup or just a stage of your life you're not enjoying, everything passes and it's going to get good. You know, it will get good. Just you don't try and bypass it. You know, you can't go, the kids rhyme, you can't go over it, can't go under it. You have to go through it. It will make you who you are. Just let time pass and things will start to change. And obviously I do think you have to be motivated and you have to help yourself. But I think having confidence that if you feel crap, you're not going to feel crap forever is a big, big thing. Acknowledge that this is a one moment in time and that, you know, life can be different.
Wow. Profound.
Terrible advice, probably. It's probably like, just chill. You feel like crap, just chill. Just wait it out. Sit on the sofa.
Sure.
No, but that isn't what I mean. I just, you know, when I look back at things in my life that have been hard, I wish somebody could have told me like it's going to be okay. It
That's
will
great.
be okay.
Yeah, and you never know how many people could benefit from some a message like that.
I hope so. I hope
good.
so. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. Well, if you have anything to plug, please do that.
So Never Date a Comedian is starting here in Melbourne on tomorrow, Tuesday 9th, 8:30 till 9:30 at the Grace Darling Hotel. We have the incredible NeemaNaz on most nights and then co-hosting with me on Sunday. Please follow me on Instagram, Sasha Frank Comedy. Come to Singapore, come see Comedy Masala. I host pretty much every week when I'm in town, Asia's most well-known, biggest comedy night. And, you know, come see us in Singapore. We love that.
Hell yeah. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Sasha Frank. We out. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.